With that note, any question? We have time only for one question. Question? No? No? Okay.
I actually have a question.
Yeah.
So going back to the sort of leading multi-generational workforces, you know, a lot of this group are HR managers who typically come in to mediate situations where, you know, managers and teams of employees, maybe due to their differences in generation, are having issues. So how would you advise sort of the group, you know, what are the sort of, you know, the monthly meeting was a great sort of, you know, example that you use. Is there anything else that they can do to sort of take what has been, what you've sort of shared here today and quickly sort of help sort of maybe leaders who are leading multi-generational workforces to sort of engage better business unit heads, line managers?
I think the most important thing is going back, look at your own workforce, identify those leaders. I think a lot of leaders are too preoccupied with what they do every day. We tend to forget, you know, you have a lot of business priorities. They need to re-engage and understand and show, as I said, ontological humility, show concern for this group of Gen Y, and spending time, simply spending time. How many of you has spent time to talk to the Gen Y? And I was presenting a paper last week at the AmCham, American Chamber Roundtable, HR Roundtable in Singapore. And a lot of the participants were saying that in China, it's exactly what they require. If you don't show that, you don't talk to them, you don't spend time, and HR is very well respected. In China, compared to many other countries, China in HR is well regarded. Do you know that? So those of you, you know, because of the confidentiality, and people regard HR as someone that they can trust, and they will share a lot of their challenges and you know, their aspiration. So as a HR leader, my advice is start thinking, identifying, have focus group session, talk to them, what is it that they need, what are the issues, what are the challenges they face in a very informal setting, through lunch or, you know, going out for drinks, and get to know them, and then bring back to the table, talk to the line manager, talk to your CEO. The best person you need to re-engage is your CEO. So the CEO needs to demonstrate that you care. Your head of organization, not necessarily CEO, the head of organization in your respective business unit, they need to understand.
For HR is to dare to make the difference, to cater to the different needs of the generations.
That's right.
Yeah, because HR will be known to be, or we are, it's given that we need to be very consistent so that we appear to be very fair.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you brought a good point. The word that you need to use, and I'm going to share with you, called procedural justice. Are you familiar with this term in HR? Only Jaya seems to be nodding, the rest of you. This is a term that you need to, what you just explained is very true. You must be seen to be fair, equity, and people will look at it. So do you have a procedural justice implement, the way you implement your policy, the way you do your recruitment, the way you compensate? So this is very important. This is lacking in a lot of organizations. Organizational justice is there. Organizational justice is setting the policy. But the procedural justice, how you do it with heart, care, now that is missing. So you need to start thinking about how you do about implementing your policies. I think with that note, I think we can still dialogue during the break. I'll be here during lunch break. We can still talk. We can have chat online. Send me questions, whatever you have. I don't take up so much time. Thank you very much for the opportunity, and hope to engage you and continue dialogue online. Thank you.
Personally, I found Professor Bhawani's presentation this morning very engaging, and he has kept a very upbeat tone about it. And I think the topic that he has chosen today is very relevant to today's business environment. And his insight is very contemporary, and actually he left the audience a very fair bit of information, quite a fair bit of thoughts to ponder upon. And I think it helps greatly with organizations who want to do this deployment and this implementation within their own organizations.
I really enjoy Professor Bhawani's presentation. He is engaging, dynamic, and relevant. He uses all forms of media to communicate his messages, and the great part about it is that he uses both his professional experience, his experience with his clients, his experience inside corporations, and his experience as a professor to deliver the messages and information that is real, on time, and very, very useful to take back for my own employees and my own clients.
I found Professor Sattar's presentation very impressive. There were a lot of specific tools and methodologies that he had referred to, such as reverse mentoring, the ontological engagement, all very useful. I think these are things that are actually, what's great about the presentation is people actually can take it and put it into practice as well. There's a lot of reference material that he refers to. So overall, I think, there's anecdotal evidence, there's the presentation itself, the tools and the models. It all works really well. So really enjoyed the presentation. I always have a great time hosting Professor Sattar at our events. He's spoken at a lot of IQPC events, and he's always delivered a great presentation, gets great feedback. So we're happy to host him anytime, really. Thank you.
Very insightful, with specific examples that I can identify in terms of the experience I have myself gone through. That would be how I would sum up the presentation by Sattar. The anecdotal evidence, the examples that he has peppered to accompany his presentation was quite eye-opening. I particularly like the piece on Gen Y and the baby boomers and Gen X comparisons, and how they actually created such a big impact in terms of the implications for companies as they think through their people strategies and processes. So I would say that on a scale of 0 to 100, 100 points being very insightful to a great extent, I would think it's closer to the 100 percentile mark. So thumbs up for a great presentation.